Hey there, military enthusiasts! Today I want to share an incredible story of bravery and heroism from Operation Desert Storm. It's the tale of an S-3 Viking aircraft that nearly got blown out of the sky on the very last night of Operation Desert Storm. This Viking was attached to Air Anti-Submarine Squadron 38, embarked on the USS Ranger CV-61. On February 27, 1991, during Operation Desert Storm, this Viking was launched on a nighttime armed scout mission, and the sensor operator, or CENSO callsign Hardball, will recount this mission that awarded all 4 crew members the Navy Commendation Medal with Combat V for Valor. His task? Conducting targeting operations in the northern Persian Gulf. Now, let's set the scene. The mission was to scout near the Abd Allah, a critical waterway just adjacent to the famous Tigris and Euphrates River delta. Iraqi naval forces had stolen a 150-foot guided missile patrol boat, TNC-45, from the Kuwaiti Navy, and the US was worried they would escape into Iran. This boat was equipped with French Exocet anti-ship cruise missiles, the same type that destroyed the USS Stark, killing 37 US sailors back in 1987. Their job was to find that boat. Sounds straightforward, right? Well, not quite. Hardball was an enlisted air crewman flying with 3 naval officers, and they had no idea that they were heading straight into an ambush. Imagine the tension, the stakes. But tonight marked 42 consecutive night missions, 6 weeks straight for this air crew, as well as all other crews flying off of the aircraft carrier USS Ranger CV-61. And as Navy training drills into you, complacency can get you killed. Scouting just off the coast of Iraq and careful not to drift into Iranian airspace, the Viking crew set up a racetrack pattern search area in between the coast of Iraq and a series of giant oil-pumping platforms. These weren't your average Texas praying donkeys. These were the size of a major big city square block. As they commenced their search, Hardball was operating the FLIR camera from his CENSO station. The forward-looking infrared camera was located underneath the Viking and was a 360-degree gyro-stabilized sensor slaved to the trackball at Hardball's fingertips. Hardball didn't realize it at first, but the previous 6 weeks of constant night operations was taking a toll on him mentally. A kind of cognitive indifference had settled in. Then, after the crew had made a couple of passes on this racetrack pattern search at about 500 feet above the water, when Hardball had this really weird wake-up call in his mind. And his first thought was, you'd better snap out of this, or you are going to get yourself and your crew killed. Hardball immediately sat up in his ejection seat and spun his trackball on his FLIR camera in a 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock sector scan, so as to start hunting under the giant oil platforms, some standing over 100 feet above the water, thinking to himself, I bet that bastard is hiding underneath one of these rigs. And literally just a few seconds later, a giant patrol boat pulled out of underneath this oil rig that we were passing on our right side. TNC-45! Confirmed! Hardball called out as he feverishly attempted to click the button that would hook the target and place it into the Viking's computer tracking system. But at that same time, the pilot yelled out, "Triple A!" as the boat opened up with his twin Bofors 40mm anti-aircraft cannon. Knowing the pilot couldn't see the boat in the pitch-black darkness, I called for the pilot to brake right so as to make some distance between us and those huge anti-aircraft cannons. We had 4 500-pound iron bombs in our torpedo bomb bays, sitting about a foot underneath us, and one stray round would have vaporized us instantly. Later on, we found out that not only did the boat open up on us, but so did Iraqi ground forces from the nearby beach. But during that 90-degree banking turn, the FLIR camera lost sight of the target because the fuselage was blocking the line of sight, and the computer's gyro system started automatically slewing the camera around in circles, making me think that it had lost the target. After leveling out, I reacquired the target and locked his direction of travel into the system, just as we broke off the engagement. And this bummed me out, because I thought for sure that he'd get away. Just at that moment, The aircraft cabin began filling up with smoke, and now I'm even more scared than I was a few seconds ago. It's one thing to be vaporized, it's another to have to eject out of the aircraft and be taken prisoner of war by some of the world's most sadistic war criminals and their well-known torture practitioners. The crew immediately ran through the emergency procedures for smoke in the cockpit and shut down all unnecessary electrical systems. So we flew back south in the dark, the 100 or so miles to the USS Ranger, praying we'd make it back aboard safely. I started thinking, wow, we never fired a shot and that dude probably got away. Not realizing that our Viking's data link system was actually working that night and instantly sent targeting information to an A-6 intruder bomber loitering up above. That intruder rolled in and dropped Rockeye cluster bombs on the boat, destroying it. Hardball's actions were nothing short of heroic. The Secretary of the Navy recognized Dana's bravery with the Navy Commendation Medal. The citation reads, "For heroic achievement as a sensor operator of an S-3A aircraft while attached to Air Anti-Submarine Squadron 3-8, embarked in USS Ranger, CV-61." On the 27th of February 1991, Petty Officer Harbaugh launched as the sensor operator on an armed scout mission conducting targeting operations in the northern Arabian Gulf during Operation Desert Storm. Scouting near the Khor Abd Allah to detect and prevent Iraqi naval forces from escaping from Kuwait Harbor to Iran, he took his undefended aircraft into harm's way to locate an Iraqi TNC-45 guided missile patrol boat. In great personal peril from direct hostile anti-aircraft artillery and small arms fire from the patrol boat and ground forces, he maintained continuous contact, providing essential targeting data to a strike aircraft which destroyed the patrol boat. Petty Officer Harbaugh's superb airmanship, courage and devotion to duty reflected great credit upon himself and were in keeping with the highest traditions of the United States Naval Service. The Combat Distinguishing Device is authorized for the Secretary of the Navy, Vice Admiral S.R. Arthur, United States Navy. Dana Hardball Harbaugh is a true Navy hero. His story reminds us of the incredible bravery, dedication and teamwork of our service members. They put themselves in harm's way day in and day out, all to protect our freedom. So the next time you think about the heroes of Operation Desert Storm, remember Hardball and the US Navy defending our oceans and our right to the free flow of oil at market prices. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more inspiring military stories. Until next time, stay safe and honor the heroes who defend freedom. Hardball, out!